In today's episode of Locked on NBA Game Night, we're going to discuss NBA players and NBA teams that could have a big bounce back this season. John Morant, Trae Young, Anthony Davis. Could the Indiana Pacers make a big comeback? We'll discuss it all in today's episode, Locked on NBA Game Night.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked on NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of Locked on NBA Game Night. I am your host, Ku Kahil. I host the Locked on Pistons podcast. That is my co-host, John Corrales. He hosts the Locked on Celtics podcast. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. It's another great way to support this show. Today's episode, we'll be having our weekly game. Last week, we missed out on it because I
bailed.
I'm ashamed to say this, John. I had a 10-year class reunion. I'm getting old.
Miss me with that. Miss me with all that noise. Stop. I'm going to stop you right there. You should be ashamed for saying that in front of me. That's a 10-year what? High school reunion?
Yep.
Get out. Where's the bleep button? I got a lot of things to say.
I have to get one. But that was why I was not here last Tuesday, but we will have the return of Are You Drinking the Kool-Aid tonight. We'll also discuss teams who are going to make a big bounce back or players.
What year did you graduate from high school?
2016. I'm 28 years old. I'm nearing my 30s. I just can't believe I'm saying that out loud.
2016, you graduated from high school. Want to know when I graduated from college? 1996.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that is a while ago. I would not have guessed that. My guess would have been like 2001-ish, something like that. Fair enough. Maybe I relax on feeling. Anyways, let's just get past that. Let's get to the players. So there are obviously there were a lot of players this past year that are, I would say, regarded pretty well by, I'd say, fans of the NBA. Maybe regarded pretty highly more by fans than they are by people who maybe, break down the league. Players like John Morant, players like Trae Young, guys who were traded for very minimal things, even other players who were injured and didn't have a great year. We'll talk about teams later, but John, I want to get your idea of players you actually believe could make a bounce back this year. There's a few players I don't believe actually will, but are there any players you actually buy could make a bounce back?
So I am going to start by just pushing for one of the guys that I cover, and that's Derrick White. And I think, obviously, defensively, not a problem. There's no need to bounce back defensively. But offensively, he had a very down year. He shot 32.7% from three. He shot 39.4% overall, shot under 50% from two, which he hadn't done as a Celtic, minus that 26 games in the year that he got traded. So offensively, I'm just very fascinated to see playing next to not only Jason Tatum versus Jaylen Brown, where historically he just plays better with Jason Tatum. Jason is one of his best friends on the team. Or just best friends in general. But also Mitchell Robinson, and having that constant lob threat and a guy that can short roll and kick it out. I think he's going to get a few more catch and shoot opportunities. A big part of whether the Celtics succeed and are a top 4 team, there's a lot of teams that are looking to be top 4. If the Celtics can break through, they're going to have to get a big offensive season from Derrick White, at least percentage-wise. So I think the elements are there. The history is there that Derrick is going to be one of the guys that bounces back on the offensive side.
So I wanted to ask you, since I wasn't expecting you to say Derrick White. So just to quickly ask you a question on him. Obviously, there's a bunch of talk nationally about Jaylen Brown versus Derrick White. There's a lot of analytics, whatever. That conversation was out there. You brought up Derrick. I want to ask you, do you feel like Derrick White did not have as good of a season as it seems like the analytics community believes he had, or do you believe he was good? It was just, you feel like it's maybe a little bit overrated because of how much he struggled shooting wise, which was a big shock to me. It was shocking how bad he struggled shooting.
So he had a positive impact on the team. It could have been a much bigger positive impact. I think his defense is so good that kind of no matter what, when he's on the floor, the Celtics are better. But they would have been a lot better, and they would have gotten past the Sixers in the first round.
Yep.
If he had a just normal shooting season, think about the butterfly effect of him hitting shots just in that Sixers series and the Celtics beating the Sixers. Does Jaylen Brown get traded to Philadelphia? Does LeBron go to Philadelphia? Where does LeBron go instead? Does Jaylen Brown go somewhere else? Because the Celtics were probably going to trade him anyway. Where does all that stuff land? And so I think there's the shooting itself was so bad that it opened up the door for a lot of things to happen. So again, positive impact for sure, because he's one of the best defenders in the NBA. But that shooting was so bad that they lost that series in part because he was one of the guys that couldn't hit a shot.
Yeah, I think that was a great way to put it. He had a positive impact, but it could have been a much larger impact if he just had a normal shooting season. I think that's a great way to describe it. My answer for this is, and by the way, I think you know this, I'm very high in the Celtics this coming year. I think they're going to be really, really good. I think Anthony Davis is the guy I'm going to go with here. I don't really buy. I'm a little bit lower on Ja as a potential option. I know he's probably going to be a hot top or a hot answer here from a lot of people. I'm pretty low on Ja at this point. I'm worried about whether he actually can have a bounce back. I'm a little bit worried about that as well, and individually with Trae, as well, who's AD's teammate. I think someone on the Magic could possibly be picked, but I'm not as high on any of their players anymore as much, to be honest. AD is the one I have some pretty good confidence that he'll have a really good year. And his just really relies on injury. I think when AD is healthy and he's playing games, he's still a very good basketball player. I think he's a great basketball player. I think he's still a very good defender. I think he can still be a very impactful offensive player. Some of his own individual shot creation has started to fall off a little bit over the last 2 years, but I wonder how much of that is to do with new teams and also dealing with injuries. But AD, he mentioned that he wants to play. Now, obviously, this is wishful thinking, but he mentioned that he wants to play all the games in the season. I don't expect anything like that to happen, but it sounds like he is healthy. It sounds like he's feeling good. And he's the only one, to me, of the players available that I think when he's healthy, he actually is still great. The other ones, I think, even if they're healthy, I have questions about their game, whether they actually will be good still. AD, I still think is just really good. He just needs to be healthy. So I'm going to go with AD as my answer to be the bounce back player.
Yeah, listen, he's in a spot where if he is going to play, like, he'll get all the minutes, all the time that he wants. That's a team that wants to be good. They're done tanking. They're putting together. It's kind of a weirdly constructed team. They're trying to kind of get some relevance and figure some things out. So I think there's a real kind of chance that you could be right. I think obviously Anthony Davis is very good. So if he plays a lot of minutes and is healthy enough, then yeah, he has the opportunity to be a big time bounce back player. You want to add anything to that?
No, I'm good with AD. I wanted to ask you though about Ja, because I think Ja's going to be someone that says. I think a lot of people in the comments are going to say Ja. I think a lot of NBA fans still very much love Ja and think of him still as the guy he was a few years ago, and think that he just needs to be healthy. Do you think that is the case? He just needs to get healthy and he'll be great again? Or I'm a little bit lower on him than that. I don't know if that's the case. Where do you stand with Ja when it comes to, is he going to have a bounce back season in Portland?
I'm low on that because of the entire makeup of the team, how small they are on the perimeter. I'm not sure what they are going to be this year. And so he could have a resurgence in scoring. If he is healthy, he's going to have like some of those highlight plays. I think he's still capable of being Ja, but would you consider it a bounce back season if the team is meh and they're getting roasted defensively because it's Ja and Dame and there's no real, like, what kind of they re-signed Robert Williams. if he's healthy, he can help with the rim protection. Uh, Obviously, Klingon is there. Is that enough to kind of mask all of the defensive issues on the perimeter? And if it's not, then it's going to be hard to look at what Portland is doing and say, oh yeah, Ja's having a big bounce back season, because it's going to be on a mediocre team, and it's probably going to be on mediocre efficiency. So I'm low on Ja in that situation. Although it may be one of those, he's so talented and the motivation is there that could be enough for him to have enough spectacular games where, yeah, we can classify it as that. But I'm low on it.
So I agree with all that. The roster is very wonky. A lot of guards. The roster is very, very interesting. I'll say this, and then we'll move on. The part of Ja's game that gives me the most concern is that his rim frequency has went down each of the last 5 years. He's not getting to the rim nearly as much over the last few years. Now, how much of that is injury and how much of that is he just doesn't have that athleticism anymore because of the injuries? Will it just come back when he's healthy? I don't know, but it's went from 35% in 2023 to 34 to 29 to 25%. So it's just been steadily going down. Again, will it come back if he's healthy? We'll see, but that's probably my biggest question when it comes to the job. But let us know who you guys think is the most likely player to have a bounce back season. Maybe it's someone we didn't even mention. There's a lot of candidates for this, so let us know. But coming up, we'll discuss teams who are capable or most likely to have a bounce back season this upcoming year. I think there's one very popular answer. I wonder if John goes with it. We'll talk about it coming up. Today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. BetterHelp has been a widely used online therapy platform, and today the focus is on why so many people continue to choose it. If you're curious, you can actually see what people are saying by visiting BetterHelp.com/reviews, where real customers' reviews are updated every single day. BetterHelp has an average live therapy session rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on more than 1.7 million client session reviews. And hearing directly from people who have used the service helps paint a clearer picture of why so many continue to recommend it. More than 6 million people globally have used BetterHelp. To get started, you answer a few questions, get matched with a therapist based on your needs, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time, just like that. BetterHelp therapists have at least 3 years and 1,000 hours of hands-on experience, along with the required education, training, and certifications. See the reviews, see what stands out, and see if BetterHelp is right for you. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. Again, check out BetterHelp. You can see the reviews, see what stands out. You can switch therapists just like that if it's not working for you with whatever therapist you get. It's a great thing to check out. Again, go to BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA. BetterHelp, see if it's right for you. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On NBA Game Night one of your first, or if you're listening to this at night, one of your last, just one of your favorite listens of every single day. We appreciate all the support. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. We talked about players that can make a bounce back. Now we're going to discuss teams that can make a bounce back. And I think there's quite a few candidates for this because there's so many teams I feel like that have went for it this year. There's so many teams that have made such big changes to their teams. I think there is one very popular one. If John doesn't say it, I'm going to go with it. So I want to give it to John. John, are you going to go with? I think we both know who the popular answer is.
Is it the Indiana Pacers?
Yeah,
the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, that's the obvious one. The Indiana Pacers getting Tyrese Haliburton back. He's out there. He looks good. He's dunking. He's you see him playing one-on-one against Jason Tatum. He's back. He's ready. He probably could have come back last season or was on the verge. So yes, obviously the Pacers are the answer. And they got Zubac. Like that's like they all that's missing from the team that went to the finals really is Mathurin. So they are very obviously going to be a bounce back team. Honestly, cool. Can't we say a lot of these teams that were tanking last year, like can't the Jazz be a bounce back team? The Wizards are going to be a bounce back team. So I think a lot of these hyper tanking teams are invariably bounce backs because they're just not going to be tanking anymore. But obviously the Pacers are far and away the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I just heard from, or not heard from, I was just talking with on on Twitter, Caitlin Cooper, who does a great job covering the Pacers, does great work breaking down the game. Yeah, she's awesome. And I asked her, I wanted to know, like, okay, so Hallie had always played with like 5 out spacing. He always played with Miles Turner. They obviously replaced him with Zubac. How much is that going to, does he think that maybe affects the team? How has he played without 5 out spacing? She had a great article breaking down how Hallie has played with a paint presence and without a paint presence. And overall, I think you should come away, as long as Hallie is healthy, and he actually is who he was a few years ago, they are going to be very, very good this year. And I think it should be the number 1 pick for this discussion. But like you mentioned, there are quite a few different answers you could go with. So while I believe the Pacers are the most likely answer and the most likely one to actually have a big bounce back season, I'm actually going to go with, just to, and obviously we got to have a little bit more fun here. We can't just be sitting here talking about the Pacers the whole time. I'm actually going to go with one of the teams you mentioned. I think the Jazz are going to be pretty good this year. I think there's a chance I don't know what the odds have them. I probably could check. I think they are going to be a play-in team this year. I could see them making
a play-in team, huh?
Yep. I think they could make it out of the play-in. I think they're going to be a really good team. I really like what they have going on over there. I really like their front court. I think they have a lot of size. I really like some of the talent they have over there as well. Some improvements from some of their young guys. Keontae George, I thought, had a really good year. He could improve even more. I really like Lauri Markkanen. I think he's able to contribute to winning when he's actually being allowed to like play winning basketball, or they are trying to play winning basketball. So I like Lauri a lot. I like JJJ a ton. Obviously, the question about losing Walker Kessler, that's going to be one to watch. But honestly, before then, I kind of was having questions about how they were going to fit all those guys together anyway. So they won 22 games this last year. They were actively trying to lose as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them winning 40-plus games.
Ooh,
I could see.
Okay.
They're the team. I'm pretty high on them. I really like them. I think they're going to be good. And obviously, they got the first pick, or not the first pick, but the second pick, and we're able to add one of the top rookies in the draft, and Darren Peterson. So
yeah,
I like them. They're one of the ones I'm watching.
Okay. It's going to be interesting. I do think the center spot is a little bit of room of concern because I'm not sure that Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5, isn't he like better at the 4?
He struggles rebounding a ton, so the 5 is going to be
a
concern.
That's going to be a problem. So I don't know if I'm going to obviously bounce back for sure. 36 wins for me for sure. Because I think some like Memphis is going to drop a little bit. The Clippers probably going to drop a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen with some of these other teams. Houston is going to be an interesting team. But yeah, I think the Jazz are going to be, I'm not as high on them as you, but any team that improves the way they improved, they have the potential to catch fire. I'm going to go off the board a little bit here for my bounce back team. I'm going to say the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
Because you're getting Kyrie back. You're getting a second year of Cooper Flagg, who by the end of the season was really starting to figure things out. I think him coming into this season with a year under his belt and as good as he can be now, a guy that is a like can handle, like, remember the beginning of the season last year, they were giving Cooper Flagg ball handling duties.
Yeah.
None of that's going to happen at the beginning of this year. Obviously still holes in that roster, but they're not a 26-win team. That's a team that, will they compete for the play-in? I think the Mavs, provided that Kyrie stays healthy, obviously everybody depends on health, but
right.
I think the Mavs, I think Cooper Flagg is so good. Obviously, having a ball handler back is so important for them. I think the Mavs can be pushing. They could be. You only need 14 wins to get to 40, so I think they can get back to being a 500 team or so and be in that play-in mix.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're one of the options as well. Like you mentioned, Cooper Flagg, one of the easiest ways to take big jumps as someone who obviously had to watch some of the worst teams over the last few years. Quickest way to do that is have a young player who makes a big jump. Young players that make big jump. And Cooper Flagg was one of the best prospects we have seen in a very long time. He was, like you mentioned, was heating up, getting even better as the season went on. Going into year 2, if he makes a big jump with Kyrie back, I really like them adding Santi Aldama. He's not some superstar or anything, but I do like that fit for them. He has some shooting ability to play 4 and the 5, has some offensive talent as well. They've taken the chance on Rishache as well. Took a chance on my guy Sasser from the Pistons as well. So I like the Mavericks and really relies on, does Cooper take the next step and Kyrie staying healthy? Like you said, I could see that one as well. There's another team I'm going to throw out there, and this one's going over to the East. And we kind of mentioned them already, but I'm going to mention them again. There's a chance the Wizards could be actually pretty good, I think. I think the Wizards actually could be good. I know people are trolling Trae and listen, he's went a little too far. I'm talking about 50+ wins. We're going to, he got a little out of pocket with it. But they won 17 games last year. They have Trae coming to play this year. I do think Trae's a good basketball player. However, the varying degrees of how good you think he is fair argument, but I do think he's a good basketball player. If AD's healthy, I think he's very good. I think their team had a few. I like what's his name? He played. Oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. He's the long wing that he absolutely would kill the Pistons every time they played during the season. Riley, it's something Riley. I'm forgetting his name.
Will Riley.
Yes, Will Riley. I really like him as well. Obviously, they've added the number 1 overall pick. I don't think they're going to be winning 17 games. Now, will they get to 40? I don't know. Maybe they we'll see, but I think they're going to be much better than that. I think they will be one of the teams fighting for the last spots.
Sure.
In the Eastern Conference play-in. And that's a big jump. I mean, that's like a 6th place jump from where they were. They were the worst team in the league last year. So I think that's what we're going to see from them this year. They're one of my candidates to have a bounce back.
I mean, obviously, when you're the worst team in the league and you make some trades, you're getting, like, listen, I am certified Trae Young hater. Everybody knows that. But I'm not going to be unfair. He can score. He's one of the best passers in the league. And that's a team that needs to be fed the ball. And if Trae can take like a little bit of a step back and understand that it's not all about you, you're not on a team that's built around Trae Young anymore. You take a step back and forget the fact that he's going to be paid too much for this role. If he can distribute and if he can help Dibanza kind of get into the right places at the right time and put him in a position to do what he does best, you got something there. But I think Trae is actually kind of like the key to all of this. It's going to be him mentally kind of understanding what the team needs. If he tries to do too much and make this the Trae Young show, then they're going to be bad. But if he understands what the team needs, then he could be both a big time bounce back player because people will start to respect that again, and they will be a bounce back team. So even I, as a certified Trae Young hater, am open to Trae having a really good season for the Wizards by playing a certain style. So,
and their bigs are going. I think their bigs are going to benefit a ton from playing with him if he can play well. Alex Sarr, I think, is going to love having him as a passer. Obviously, AD is going to love having him as a passer. I agree with you. If Trae can have an effective season, stay healthy, and be locked in and play the way they need him to play, he has the skills to really make the players around him that need to be fed and need to be, there are play finishers. He'll help them have really good seasons. But let us know, comment section down below, if you guys go ahead.
I want to throw one more at you real quick before we took a break.
Go ahead.
You tell me if I'm crazy. Chicago Bulls.
Okay, so look.
Am I crazy? Norm Powell. They got Thiago Splitter as the coach.
Do you think they're going to be the play-in?
Well, they were a 31 win team last year. So they were
okay.
So it's not like they were that far out of the play-in. I mean,
right.
12 games. So it wasn't exactly close, but they picked up a little bit of talent. They have a serious coach. They have a coach that I think did well in Portland. Maybe there's a little bit of a culture shift there. I'm not there's a reason why I'm putting them last. I'm just kind of throwing it out there, just like a test balloon. Like, what do we think about the Chicago Bulls with a couple of added players? Maybe, like, is it an ideal fit? Is it a well-constructed roster? No, but with some guys that can score, a little bit of defense, and some really good coaching, is there a 40-win team in there? I don't know.
Well, I have a lot of my friends are from Chicago, so they are super excited for the Bulls this upcoming year. I think their new GM's favorite phrase is slap. It's size, length, athleticism, and I forget what the P is supposed to stand for or whatever. But I think they've added a lot of wings. I like that. They have a lot of size on the wing. They have what's supposed to be some defenders at the wing positions as well that can kind of switch around. I'm interested in them, and I really like their rookie as well. He looked really good in summer league. So I think they could be good. I don't know how much I think they could jump because so many other teams in the East tried to be good this year, but I do think they'll be better. I can buy that. I'm sure my Bulls friends are going to love hearing you say that. They're going to be super excited to know that someone's rooting for them. But coming up, we're going to play the game. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid? We'll talk about some of these teams that maybe could have been mentioned for this, as well as some players that are in, I think, for a make or break season. We'll discuss it coming up.
The problem of finding clothes that you can live in all day, be comfortable, and do whatever you need to do, whether it's just chilling, going to meetings, playing golf, being on the move, that problem has been solved by Cozy Earth. The everyday polo is the answer. It's lightweight, built to move with you, just easy to wear everywhere. I've got it on right now, and it's fabulous. Plus, the Cozy Earth Essential Socks, they're exactly what the name suggests. Soft, supportive, comfortable enough that you stop thinking about them halfway through the day. Plus, Cozy Earth backs everything with a 10-year warranty and hassle-free returns. So if something isn't quite right, you're covered. That makes trying them for yourself an easy decision. I've got the Cozy Earth Everyday Polo in blue and in black. Check them out at CozyEarth.com. Use the code LOCKEDON for 20% off. That's right, Locked On for an exclusive 20% off. And if you see a post-purchase survey, please mention you heard about it right here, CozyEarth.com.
So I want to thank you guys again for checking in and tuning in with us on Locked On NBA Game Night. And we are now playing our weekly edition of Are You Drinking the Kool-Aid? I've yet to get a soundboard for this.
We need music.
We need to talk to Nick. Nick's super advanced with the Roadcaster and knowing how to add
what's
stuff.
this?
Are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Oh, yeah.
Who created? When did you guys? Everyone listening, this is something that I have no clue about. How did you? First of all, who made it, and how did you?
Listen, man. I just went down to the background music tab, and there it is, Kool-Aid theme. Love it. Love it.
The oh yeah at the end is what makes it.
Oh yeah.
All
right, there we go.
Let's play the guy. I think everyone's in the mood to play.
Now we're in the mood. Now we're cooking with gas.
let's get it going. We're gonna go to Orlando for the first edition of this. There is a lot of pressure, I think, on the Magic, specifically Paolo Banchero, to deliver for the Magic this upcoming year. After years of it, going up and down, up and down, up and down. I think he had a tough season this past year. John, are you drinking the Kool-Aid that this is the year that Paolo delivers as the franchise player, as the Magic, and they feel like they are in a good spot?
Nice big sip of that Kool-Aid. Yeah, I'm buying it. You know why? Because I'm sorry, Orlando. I don't believe in jinxes. So I'm going to say this. There's just no way that Orlando can go through that much injury pain again. And so I feel like they're due a little bit of luck. There's a coaching change. There's a little bit of a shifting of focus. So I think this is going to be the year. Paolo, I think they kind of figure some things out. Certainly questions in Orlando. I'm not saying they're going to win the East, but I've been waiting for them to kind of maximize some of the things they do well. Obviously, defense. Obviously, they're a big, tough team. They're a bruising team. Lean into it. They definitely need to fix their shooting issues. And I'm hoping Wagner, I'm hoping Suggs can kind of have decent seasons. But I think Paolo, having gone through everything, having gotten a coach fired, I think this is going to be like a little bit of all right, this is you got what you wanted. It's been a little bit of a disappointment. This is really, the noise is getting loud. Put up or shut up. If he doesn't do it this year, he's never gonna, and so he's got to do it.
So I'm interested to see it happen. I think if this new coaching staff can get Paolo to play more like ways he hasn't played this far, discourage some of the pull-up jump shooting, discourage some of the hold the ball 6-7 seconds, get him moving more, use him more as a screener, DHO guy, get him more looks at the basket. I think if they use him that way, I think he could be very, very, very good. And they could be, and obviously they need to be healthy for once. They've had terrible injury luck. So we'll see how the coaching staff handles it. If Paolo's willing to buy into playing maybe a different brand of basketball, I think that's needed to happen. But now we're going to shift over to the Western Conference. We're going to go with a team that is falling from glory, and the Golden State Warriors. There is a lot of smoke about the Golden State Warriors. There's been a lot of talk about Steph Curry. Should he want out? It's been sad music playing in Golden State the last few months. I want to ask you, John, are you drinking the Kool-Aid that the Warriors surprise people this year and give Steph Curry another season to care about and play for, where they're taken legitimately serious in the West?
No, I am not drinking that. I'm not drinking that at all. They are, I think the popular term would be toast. Listen, they're you talk about injury concerns. Too many, I love Kristaps Porzingis. He won a championship in Boston. It's unreliable. I love Al Horford. Hugely important to winning a championship in Boston. Can't count on him all season and then a big playoff run. So he has to bide his time. Draymond is back, but I don't like where Draymond is. I still think he can be really good, but mentally, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I'm watching him slowly fall apart. So I just don't think that's a team. I don't love the depth. I know they have an interesting young rookie. I know there's a little bit of like, I don't know if, Brandon Podziemski could be like, if he's a bounce back guy, like we were talking earlier, like, I think he has to have like a bigger season. There's maybe they can be mildly relevant, but listen, I'm the guy that was aggregated like crazy over the weekend about Steph Curry and the Boston Celtics, and it was just madness. Don't want to get into that, but part of the noise is my fault because I wrote the what if. I still think the Warriors should consider moving Curry. I know it's blasphemy. The emotional side of me says no, keep him, because I want to see a guy finish his career somewhere in the same place. But the CBA demands change. If you want to pivot, this is the time where this new CBA says this is the time to trade guys like Curry and trade guys like Draymond and get your value reset and start the clock. So if anything, I think they should explore that. But I understand if they don't, and I understand why Warriors fans don't want them to. I wouldn't want to either if I was a Warriors fan.
I agree with you, and I think quickly before we move on to the next topic, our last one, if my thing is that if the Warriors plan, if we're going to believe the reports and GM ownership's plan is we want to be good after Steph, we're worried about after Steph years. That's what we're planning for. That's what we're worried about. Wouldn't like the best way to get set for post Steph is to trade Steph and get as many assets to be ready for the post Steph era? Like, wouldn't that, like, I feel like the playing both sides has kind of went against them. And I think Steph is really still too great to just be wasting around on a team that's not trying. Basically,
he has value. He has value. So
we're going to flip around, and Warriors are still going to be involved in this one. I don't know if you've seen, John. And by the way, the aggregation, I have been getting aggregated. I now realize that anything I say, I see not anything I say just is taken as, oh, God, who's heard from Woj and Shams. This is what he says. This is a report. So I get it. It's been bad. It's been getting rough. But we're gonna stay involved with the Warriors for just a second. I don't know if you've heard what KD has been saying apparently over on Threads.
Oh, no.
Don't know if people are on Threads.
No,
but
I'm not on Threads. He's on Threads. Man, he is terminally online. I've never met a more online guy.
found in the Twitter group, said, I'm just going to go to thread. It is what it is. But, it is what it is. But he's been saying over there that he thinks this 76ers team is just like the 2017 Warriors team that he joined. They're 4 20-point scorers. This is the same thing as when I went there. They're in just as good of a spot as we were. This is a super team. But he has said multiple, and Draymond's responded. But basically, I'm asking you, John, are you drinking the Kool-Aid that this upcoming Sixers team is similar to the Golden State Warriors when KD joined them?
No, man. No.
I was gonna say, do you want me to just end the podcast there? Can we just end it there?
There's nobody on that team that's as good as Steph. There's nobody on that team that's as good as KD. LeBron was, obviously, but not anymore. Tyrese Maxey, he may never reach that level. And I love Tyrese. I think Tyrese Maxey's a great player. I've seen 10 years of Jaylen Brown. He's really good. He's not that level. These aren't that level. I mean, no. The Sixers ceiling is a championship. They could be a championship team this year. But when that Warriors team got together, there was a whole lot of like, oh no, from the rest of the league. Now this Sixers team, there's a lot of like, oh man, that's going to be tough. Like, I think that's going to be a tough team. They could win it, but I don't even know if they're the favorites. They're not the favorites. San Antonio and OKC, I think, are clearly favorites above the Sixers. No one was a favorite above those Warriors. No one. I mean, listen,
KD's crazy, man.
I love KD. I laugh that he's as online as he is. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's honestly, it's pretty disrespectful to his Warriors teammates. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I'm Clay, Draymond, and what? Hold on, like what?
Yeah,
what? But yeah, it is what it is. But that's all we've got for you guys today. Thank you guys for tuning in to Locked On NBA Game Night. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave us a 5-star review, whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. I'm your host, Koo. You can find more of me over on Locked On Pistons. You can find more of John over on Locked On Celtics. I'll leave you guys with this hot take as we let the end credits go. The Boston Celtics will be better than the Sixers this year, John. I don't think they're going to be the favorites in the East. Catch you guys later.